Hi, my name is Amelia. Welcome to the Gray Lamb. This is a channel where I talk about narcissistic abuse, and in my case specifically, parental narcissistic abuse. So thank you so much for being here. This is just a short video about my experiences of gray rocking. So what is gray rocking? I find that when we're discussing terms relating to narcissistic abuse, a lot of the terms can have like a sort of a double meaning. And this was a word that I wasn't really understanding or familiar with. So gray rocking in the context that I'm using it is how my personality existed in order to shield myself from narcissistic abuse. This is something I did unconsciously that started when I was a child. So it's very strange to sort of look back at your life and go, oh, but when you're getting really close to uncovering things about the lies that you've been told and the life that you've been leading that was based on a lot of these lies, like your family respects you and whatnot, you have moments of light bulb moments of just like, wow, the light is turned on. I'm understanding this. And those are great moments. So when I was a child, I started to go blank, meaning I did not want my parents to see my emotions. I didn't want them to see, especially happiness. This is something I didn't understand for decades. Like, why? Why do I act like this? And the reason why I didn't want them to see me happy was A, they would co opt that happiness and think that they had something to do with it, and B, they could act however they want. Meaning, if I'm doing okay, they must be doing a good job. My whole childhood was characterized by me feeling sort of uncomfortable with my parents, and increasingly so over as I grew. And as I grew and aged, my parents became more abusive. Now, when I was a child, I was not hit, I was not insulted, I was not given, I was not tormented or anything like that. Everything else that was going on around my childhood just kept escalating and getting worse to the point where by the time I was in grade 7, I dropped out of school. So, dropping out of school and gray rocking were things that I did to express how shut down and messed up I was, meaning I didn't want my parents knowing anything about my private life because they would just sort of exploit it, misunderstand it, attribute it to themselves. It's really hard for me to sort of understand and entangle all this, but basically, um, my parents are people that were musicians. They like to have a good time. They weren't party animals or anything, but my father was an alcoholic and my mother was an escapist. She'd been abused by my father. So there was a lot of stuff, in our family interactions that were wrong. And even though we left my dad when I was 5 years old, he rejoined my life not even a year later, probably months. I'm not sure how long it was. And therefore, I went blank. I didn't have a voice. Other than being just born naturally sensitive and an only child, I can't really explain why I gray rocked. Now, gray rocking is you're not emoting, you're not showing emotion, either because of maybe autism or other factors of why um, it's not maybe safe to show emotion, or maybe you don't feel like you're happy when you're happy. There are lots of reasons. But the main reason why was because I didn't want to share any of my private joy with people who had done things to hurt me my whole life. I didn't know when I was a child or even a teenager what was wrong, but that was my instinct, was to not share. And I never seemed to have enough privacy when I visited my father, so that was another retreat. And these are freeze behaviors: dropping out of school at age 12, um, shutting down, hiding. These are all freeze and flight behaviors due to the uncomfortable situations of living with two parents simultaneously who were messed up. So thanks for checking out my videos today. It means the world to me, and I wish you the best of luck in dealing with whatever you're dealing with. I'm hoping that you have clarity, support, grounding, and self-love and understanding through the process of de-enmeshing yourself from an abuser.